Join ForumIAS Academy, trusted by hundreds of toppers, including IAS Rank 1 𝐂𝐡𝐚𝐧𝐧𝐞𝐥 Sharma.
Good evening guys, this is Vijay. Welcome to ForumIAS Hindu Daily. In our today's news discussion, we are going to discuss the topics in the slide. The first topic is with respect to India-Africa. The author have been making several recommendations based on the VIF report. Then the second one, center to issue norms against the dark pattern in online advertisements. Then the third one, India backs 2016 ruling from the Permanent Court of Arbitration with respect to South China Sea. Then recently, the SCO members, they agreed for the entrance of Iran in the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. Then last topic is about the Operation Green. Recently, we have been witnessing the prices of tomato and onion and all have been rising. So that's what I handpicked this article. Now with this note, let us move on to the discussion part. This is the first article, kindly go through it. And here in the intro part, the author have been stating that today, the Africa is having 17% of the global population. By 2050, it will be having a global share of 25%. So by 2050, 1/4 of the population will be from Africa. So this is what he have been stating. And he is also making certain glimpse over the Vivekananda International Foundation. They actually released one report, India-Africa Partnership, Achievements, Challenges and Roadmap report. So this is what he have been discussing in this part. Then Africa in Transition, under the subtopic Africa in Transition, he have been stating that the Africa have been undergoing several changes, not only in demographic and economic, but also in political and social. The citizens of the Africa, they are becoming well aware of the democratic values and they are becoming hugely economically motive. So this is what he have been stating here. And even the terror organizations and all have been operating in African landscape, but he is expecting that in the upcoming time, it will be settled and the development will be boosted. So this is what he have been discussing here. Then several global partners, they actually looking up for reaping the benefits from the African landscape, like China, Russia, European Union, then Japan, Turkey, United Arab Emirates. These are the few countries, they are looking up for reaping the benefits out of the development from Africa. So this is what he have been discussing here. And he is insisting India to undertake better negotiations with respect to the development, democracy with the African countries. Because in the past, due to several measures taken by China, it have become the largest economic partner with Africa. So this is what he have been discussing in this portion. They actually negotiated better terms with the countries in Africa, and right now they are started to reaping the benefits from the African development. And the report, the India-Africa Partnership report, it have been making several recommendations, and these recommendations have been given in this article by the author. So now let us discuss each and every recommendations. The first, political and diplomatic cooperation. Under that, the first recommendation is it should be strengthened by restoring periodic leader summit through the medium of India-Africa Forum Summit. Guys, with respect to India-Africa Forum Summit, it was started in the year of 2008. So the first summit, it happened in New Delhi, right? Every 3 years, India and Africa, they are supposed to conduct the summit. So in 2011, the second summit, it happened in Africa. In 2015, they actually conducted the summit, which was happened in India. After that, no India-Africa Forum Summit had been conducted either in Africa or in India. So the author have been insisting that India need to restore the India-Africa Forum Summit. Then secondly, with respect to political and diplomatic cooperation, a new annual strategic dialogue between the chairperson of the Africa Union and India's External Affairs Minister should be launched in 2023, because the same strategic dialogue, it have been conducted by China with the African countries. So that's what the report have been making this step as the second recommendation. Then another recommendation relates to forging consensus among the G20 members on the African Union's entry into the G20 as a full member. So right now, G20, it doesn't have any African country as a full-time member. But in the upcoming days, the recommendation is we need to strive for the African Union's admission into the G20 club. So this is what it have been making here. And with respect to this recommendation, PM Narendra Modi, he actually insisted the G20 to admit the African Union in the recently held G20 summit. Then lastly, expert group has also suggested that the Ministry of External Affairs should have a secretary exclusively in charge of African affairs to further enhance the implementation and impact of African policy. So what they have been suggesting, the Ministry of External Affairs, they should be having a dedicated secretary for conducting the African affairs, which means it have been insisting the importance of Africa to India, right? Now, with respect to the defense and security cooperation, the government needs to increase the number of defense attaches deployed in Africa. So right now, we actually sending troops through the UN organization to restoring peace in the African landscape. And the recommendation is we need to directly enhance the defense attachments what we are deploying in Africa, because it will enhance the mutual defense cooperation between the countries in Africa and in India. Then secondly, expand dialogue on defense issues, widen the footprint of maritime collaboration. So what they have been telling, because let me write here. So here is the Africa and here is the India. Just it is a rough map, okay? And here the Indian Ocean is there, right? So almost 85% of the global oil trade, it have been happening in this route. And it is highly economically important. Moreover, in this region, each and every stakeholder, they have been witnessing the piracy issues. Therefore, we need to expand the dialogue on defense issues with the African countries. Therefore, we can expand the maritime collaboration between the countries in Africa and India. Thirdly, expand lines of credit to facilitate defense exports. Right now, African countries, they are looking up to erode the terrorism in their landscape. So they are requiring arms and ammunitions. So India can capitalize this opportunity and they can expand the line of credit to the African countries with respect to defense exports. Lastly, more can be done to increase the number of defense training slots and enhance cooperation in counter-terrorism, cyber security, and emerging technologies. So these are the issues both India and the countries in Africa have been facing. And with respect to the developing countries, guys, developing countries, they are actually expanding their trade. But with respect to innovation, we are standing behind the developed countries. So to reap the potential out of the innovation, we need to collaborate with the African countries. So this is what it have been discussed here. And lastly, economic and development cooperation. Right now, India and Africa, their bilateral trade is around 98 billion. So in Africa, almost 51 countries are there. So cumulatively, we are maintaining a 98 billion bilateral trade between the African continent and India in the year of financial year 2022 to 23. Which is an encouraging development. This is what they have been stating. This figure can go up if access to finance through the creation of African Growth Fund is ensured. So this African Growth Fund, it was proposed by FICCI, okay? FICCI had proposed African Growth Fund, and another one African Growth Fund is there, which was mastered by MasterCard, you might have known, right? So MasterCard and Visa, they actually proposed another one, African Growth Fund. So you no need to confuse between FICCI's African Growth Fund and MasterCard and Visa's Growth Fund because they both are different. So you need to keep in mind. And if we are extending the finance means, what it will happen in Africa? They will invest in infrastructure, education, and they will become a developed state, right? They will be developing in the course of time after the investments were released from the India. So the development will provide some opportunities for Indian stakeholders to export their goods from Indian landscape. So this is the importance of giving access to finance to Africa, right? Secondly, a special package measures to improve project exports, build up cooperation in the shipping domain has been suggested. Almost 2/5 of the African countries, they are locating in the seaward region. So we can collaborate with those countries to promote the projects with respect to shipping, because the maritime location between Africa and India is highly significant. Almost 85% of the oil trade have been happening there. So we can reap the benefits out of this opportunity. Thirdly, a special focus on promoting trilateral cooperation, deepening science and technology cooperation could pay rich dividends. This is what I already told you. If we are promoting the innovation means, then we will be filing more and more patents and we will be reaping the benefits out of those patents. So that's what the cooperation in the science and tech domain is highly important. It is also applicable to the defense science domain also, right? Lastly, it is about the socio-cultural cooperation. Here they have been discussing that it should be increased through greater interaction between universities, think tanks, civil society, media organizations in India and select African countries. So here we need to increase the interaction between the universities, think tanks, civil society, media organizations. Recent times, the African students, they are looking up for opportunity in India for higher education, right? So Indian universities, they should capitalize this opportunity. And with respect to Indian universities and institutes, the IIT Chennai, they are actually going to establish one branch in the Africa, right? And here they have given one separate example. Setting up of a National Center for African Studies will be the right step. Secondly, they have been discussing about the ITEC and ICCR scholarship. ITEC means Indian Technical and Economic Cooperation. ICCR means Indian Council for Cultural Relations. So these two institutes, they have been providing scholarships. And here the recommendation is stating that these scholarships should be named after the African figures. Because right now we had provided almost 80,000 scholarships under ITEC and ICCR. But people are not aware of the scholarships what India have been providing to the African students. So that's what it have been stated that these scholarships should be provided on the name of African figures. Thirdly, visa measures for African students who come to India for higher education should be liberalized. They should also be given work visas for short periods. So if we are providing work visa for short period means, then they will get the employment and they will establish their positions in India, right? So this is what it have been stating here. And with respect to UK, they are providing 2-year stay back visa for each and every student who are coming for higher studies in UK. So like that, we need to implement some stay back visas with respect to African students in India, right? That's it, guys. We can wind up this article here. It is highly significant from the perspective of international relations. So kindly go through multiple times, right? Now with this note, let us move on to the next article. This is the second article, guys. Center to issue norms against the dark patterns in online advertisements. Here with respect to this article, we need to know what is meant by dark pattern and what are the concerns and what are the solutions. So this is the thing we need to know with respect to the article provided. And what are dark patterns? They are deceptive design patterns, a user interface design that manipulates user into doing things. So there will be certain tricks and all will be followed by the website managers and they will be manipulating certain things with respect to the user's innocence, right? So here with respect to that, they had given that a baseless countdowns for online deals. Most of the websites, you will be seeing that within the stipulated time, if you are purchasing the product X means, they will give some 70% discount, 80% discount like that and all, they will be stating, right? So this is the first one. Secondly, conditions in fine print that's added on to the cost. So inherently, they will be adding certain cost to the product what you are purchasing without informing you. So this is the second thing. Then making cancellation buttons hard to see or click. Suppose if you are opening some website, okay, so let me tell you. So this is the user interface of ForumIAS. So when you are visiting the ForumIAS page, this is how the page will be appear, right? So this is the user interface. In most of the websites, here some pop-up message will be coming. So in the pop-up message, there will be some accept button, and there won't be any clue to you how you need to close the pop-up. So that is the third concern they have been stating. And fourth one, making ads appear as news reports or celebrity endorsements. So here they are actually providing some fake informations to you based on some celebrity endorsements, but in reality there won't be any actual celebrity endorsements and all will be there. Okay, then auto playing videos. See, auto playing videos is not a nuisance, but if they are manipulating certain things with respect to the auto playing of the videos means, then it is a crime. So this is what they have been stating. Then forcing users to create accounts to finish a transaction. Let's say, suppose you are visiting some travel website and you are looking up to book their flight tickets. So before booking the tickets, they will be asking you to open the account. Then only you can finish the process, like that they will be telling. So this is the dark pattern. This is the dark pattern what they are following in the booking websites. Then silently charging credit cards after free trial end. In most of the application, while you logging in, they will be asking you for the credentials with respect to the credit cards. So after the trial period, they need to inform you, right? They need to inform before they are started to charging for the services what they are providing. But they won't be informing you, else they will be making certain manipulations to extract the amount from your credit cards, right? Then using full dull colors to hide information that users should know about. Suppose, let's say, with respect to health website, pharmaceutical website we can take. In that, they need to provide adequate information with respect to the drugs, what you are going to purchase, right? But certain websites, they won't be providing any information with respect to the side effects of the drugs. So that and all, you can take it as an example for this concern, right? And what are the concerns we are having with respect to the dark patterns? First, it have been affecting the user experience. How it will be affecting the user experience? While you are signing in, let's say, here is the page. So here also we are keeping one automatically playing video, but it is visible to you, right? In most of the websites, it won't be visible to you and it will be annoying to you. So that's what they have been telling, that it have been affecting the user experience. Secondly, for businesses, customers to lose the trust. So without providing any adequate information, if you are charging for the service means, what the customers will think? Actually, they will think that they are becoming fooled by you, right? So that's what it have been stating, that in the course of time, the customers will be losing the trust upon the entities. Thirdly, increasing the vulnerability to data and financial exploitation. So each and every websites, especially the travel websites, while you are booking the ticket, they will be asking for the personal information and all. So they can sell it as a data, right? So, and in the course of time, the credentials, what you are providing to the website, they will extract the resource from the credit cards, right? So that is amounted as a financial exploitation. Then lastly, unethical. They actually exploit human psychology. How they are exploiting the human psychology? In the countdown deals and all, they actually won't be delivering the authentic products, but they will be misleading you by providing inadequate information, right? So this is how they have been exploiting the human psychology. Then with respect to the solutions, the prime responsibility lies on the web designers. The design should provide transparent and adequate information to the users. Then only they will be exercising the wise decision while purchasing any product or while booking any tickets, right? Then secondly, stringent laws and regulations need to be enforced by the government agencies. So this is how the government is coming to play a role here. And here they had given one example, Consumer Privacy Act of California. So with the enforcement of this act, the Californian state government, they actually eliminated the advertisements, especially with respect to the dark pattern advertisements in their jurisdiction. So India can take some insights from this model and they can implement throughout the India. Thirdly, IAC activities. What is meant by IAC activities? Information, education, and consumer awareness. So these all stuffs need to be promoted and it will provide the user what is the right they are entitled to, and they will exercise wise decision while utilizing any information in their websites, right? So that's it, guys. With this note, let us move on to the next article. Guys, this is the third article. India backs 2016 ruling favoring the Philippines in South China Sea. So on June 27th, the Foreign Affairs Minister from Philippines, Enrique Manalo, he visited India. So in that meetup, India stated that it will be backing the 2016 ruling of Permanent Court of Arbitration. So in the year of 2013, the Philippines government, they actually knocked the doors of Permanent Court of Arbitration with respect to the dispute in the South China Sea. So on hearing from both China and the Philippines, it issued the judgment in the year of 2016, and it clearly stated that Chinese government, they don't have any legal claims over the islands what the Philippines is claiming, right? So this is what it was stated. And in the recent summit, India stated that it will be backing the ruling what the Permanent Court of Arbitration had provided, because in the recent times there were negotiations between China and ASEAN countries with respect to the disputes in the South China Sea, and China stating that it will be abide by the 9-dash line. Here in the image you can see the 9 dashes are there, right? This is the first, second, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So these 9 dashes, it have been representing the Chinese claims over the South China Sea, and almost all the islands in the South China Sea, it have been coming under the jurisdiction of China based on the 9-dash line. And it is highly economically rich region because several oil resources are there, and we can do mining also. And you might have known Vietnam had permitted ONGC Videshi Limited to explore some oil exploration in the South China Sea. And China also, it raised concerns over the OVL operations in the South China Sea, right? So it is highly economically rich region. That's what China is claiming almost all the South China Sea region under their jurisdiction. And here in the image you can see, here is the Paracel Island and this is the Pratas Island. So Paracel Island, it is a bone of contention between Vietnam and China, and Spratly is here. Then we are having Scarborough Shoal. Scarborough Shoal is the bone of contention between Philippines and China, and Massif Bank is here, and it have been claiming by several countries including the Malaysia, and Senkaku is here. Senkaku is the bone of contention between China and Japan, right? And now let us discuss what are the provisions of the 2016 judgment. And this is all about the 2016 ruling, guys. In the year of 2013, as I already told you, the Manila government, they actually knocked the doors of Permanent Court of Arbitration. And they stated that the Beijing's claim have been infringing the economic and territorial rights of Philippines. And based on that, the Permanent Court of Arbitration, they made judgment with respect to the dispute in the South China Sea. But Beijing, it refused to participate. And it stated that it will be abide by the 9-dash line what it proposed. And in the judgment, the Permanent Court of Arbitration, they clearly stated that it has no lawful effect. Because if we are claiming any occupation over the island means, you should be having the historical significance, right? With respect to Lakshadweep, we are having historical right over the Lakshadweep. The Indian government is having historical right over the Lakshadweep. But with respect to the islands in the South China Sea, China doesn't have any historical claim. So this is what it had been stated in the judgment pronounced by the Permanent Court of Arbitration. And it also stated that there was no legal basis for China to claim historical rights to resources within the sea areas falling within the 9-dash line. As I already told you, the South China Sea is having huge economic potential and China wants to reap the potential. So this is what it proposed, a 9-dash line. And it stated that since 1950, it have been following the 9-dash line. But it is not so, right? And here in the image you can see, it is the UN Convention on the Law of Sea. The first 12 kilometers is a territorial water, right? First 12 kilometers is a territorial water. This is from the baseline. And here, the country can enforce all the laws what it have been enforcing in the land. And here in the territorial sea, the innocent passage of the foreign vessels also permitted. But they are not supposed to do any weapon testing or any spying activities. Okay. Then we are having a contiguous zone. Contiguous zone will be extending another 12 kilometers. Then we are having economic zone, exclusive economic zone, which is 176 km. But usually the contiguous zone will also clubbed under the exclusive economic zone. So it will be amounts to 188 nautical miles. And in the exclusive economic zone, the country can exploit the resource what it is deserved. But in the high seas region, if any country wants to exploit the resource means it should get the permission from the International Seabed Authority. So with respect to India, India got the permission from the International Seabed Authority with respect to the exploration of minerals in the Central Indian Ocean region, right? Now with this note, let us move on to the next slide. This is the Permanent Court of Arbitration. So it is an international organization. It came into existence in the year of 1899 and it has been locating in Hague, which is in Netherlands. And it is not a court and it doesn't have any permanent judges. Fourthly, it is stated that it is a permanent bureaucracy that assists temporary tribunals to resolve disputes among states, international organizations, or even private parties arising out of the international agreements. So it is not only dealing between the states, it can also provide judgments with respect to the issues arising between the international organizations or even private parties, because especially with respect to trade and all, the disputes and all will be rising between the trade partners, right? So that and all can be resolved through the Permanent Court of Arbitration. Then the cases span a range of legal issues involving territorial, maritime boundaries, sovereignty, human rights, international investment, and international and regional trade. So these are all the prime domains the PCA have been operating. Then the decision of the arbitrator is binding in all cases on the parties. So once if the members, if they are knocking the doors of PCA means, then after the completion of the case, the judgment will be pronounced by the Permanent Court of Arbitration. So the judgment should be enforced by the members who are participated in the arbitration. So this is what it have been explaining here. But Permanent Court of Arbitration, it doesn't have any enforcement agencies like what UN is keeping, right? So these are the things you need to know with respect to the Permanent Court of Arbitration. And it doesn't have any relation with UN also, right? They are operating out of the jurisdiction of the UN. But the UNSC, they can recommend certain cases to Permanent Court of Arbitration also, right? With this note, let us move on to the next slide. This is the fourth article, guys. Iran to join Shanghai Alliance with China, Russia next week. So we all well known about the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. It is a Eurasian military and international organization, and it was started in the year of 1995 by 5 countries: Russia, then China, then we are having Tajikistan, then Kyrgyzstan, then Kazakhstan. So these are all the 5 countries. They actually started the Shanghai 5 organization, which was started in the year of 1995. Then with the joining of Uzbekistan in the year of 2001, it became a Shanghai Cooperation Organization, right? Then in the year of 2017, they again admitted 2 new members, India and Pakistan. So these 2 members, they permitted into the Shanghai Cooperation Organization in the year of 2017. Now, in this context, Iran is going to become a new member in the Shanghai Cooperation Organization as a 9th member. Okay, Iran will be the 9th member. And it is expected that within the next few weeks, Iran will become a part and parcel of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. And here with respect to this article, we need to know some basic tenets of the SCO. It is a permanent intergovernmental international organization of the Eurasian nations. Almost 9 countries are there. So it is highly necessary to remember all those country names, right? First country is Russia, China, Tajikistan we are having, Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, Kazakhstan, then India, Pakistan, then Iran. So these are the 9 countries who are a member of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. It is a political, economic and military organization. India is a part of only one military organization, which is a Shanghai Cooperation Organization. And this organization, it aims at maintaining peace, security, stability and tranquility in the region, right? And their official languages of the SCO are Russian and Chinese. And SEO, they are having two permanent bodies. One is Secretariat, and it is highly powerful organization in the SEO apparatus, and it is based in Beijing. And they are having executive committee of their RATS, Regional Anti-Terrorist Structure, based in Tashkent. So the RATS, they have been providing collaboration among the members to handle the terror activities, separatism and extremism. Each and every country who are a member of Shanghai Cooperation Organization, they are facing huge challenges from the terror activities, separatist and extremist. With respect to India, we are fighting against several terror groups in the Jammu and Kashmir region. Then in the Red Corridor, we are having insurgency. Then in the northeastern region also, we are facing huge challenges from the insurgency organizations like ULFA. With respect to Russia, they are facing challenges from the Chechens. So like that, each and every country who are a part and parcel of the SEO, they are facing challenges from the terror activities, separatisms and extremisms. Now with this note, let us move on to the next article. This is the last article, guys. Center invites idea from public to curb tomato prices. So the article as such is not necessary for us. And here we need to know what are the initiatives the government had taken in the past to curb the tomato prices and why it couldn't able to curb the prices with respect to tomato, onion, potato and all. Because from the agricultural perspective, it is highly important for us. So that's what I handpicked this article. And with respect to tomato, there is no concrete planting and harvesting season. So this is one of the huge concern for the government and for the people with respect to forecasting the prices, right? And here in this context, the government in the year of 2018, they came up with Operation Green. So this is the Operation Green. It is the price fixation scheme that aims to ensure farmers are given the right price for their produce. Actually, the prices of the tomato, onion, potato are highly volatile, right? So that's what the government had came up with this scheme. And based on the scheme, the government will be providing the right price for the farmers. In certain months, the price will be between 50 to 100 with respect to tomato, onion, potato. And in several months, the price will be between 5 to 10 rupees. So the farmers, they were suffering under the underpricing, right? So that's what the government had came up with this scheme. And it aims to promote FPOs, agri-logistics, processing facilities, and professional management of agri-produce. Because by enhancing the processing facilities, we can do value addition and we can keep the stocks in a long run. So that's what they actually extended some support to the processing facilities also. Then with respect to FPO, the farmers can get a better pricing, right? By selling through the FPO, the farmer can get a better pricing. Then it focused on organized marketing of tomatoes, onion, potatoes by connecting farmers with consumers. So through the eNAM, this connection was happened and through that the forecasting of the prices and all can be carried out. Then state agricultural and other marketing federations, FPOs, cooperatives, companies, self-help groups, food processor, etc. can avail the financial assistance under it. Generally, this Operation Green is in the line of Operation Flood, what we launched for the promotion and expansion of the milk in our country, right? Milk production. With respect to milk production, we actually launched the Operation Flood. So based on the success of the Operation Flood, the government had devised the Operation Green and it have been converging all the previous schemes under the Operation Green. So basically this operation scheme is an umbrella scheme. Then to help in the structural and infrastructural part of the scheme, Agri Market Committee promoted markets will be connected to the eNAM platform. This is what I already told you. Through the connection between the eNAM platform, we can better forecasting the prices throughout the India. Then lastly, the government will also help in the development of 22,000 agricultural markets. And apart from that, the government is also carrying out the buffer stocks with respect to tomato, onion, potato. Right now, we are keeping 3 lakh tons of onion in our buffer stocks. So in the upcoming time, it is expected that the quantum will be between 2.5 lakh million tons. So this is what it is expected to produce. Also, we are keeping 3 lakh in buffer So there won't be any price volatility with respect to onion. But with respect to tomato, right now we are facing the price volatility. Therefore, it is expected that it will be normalized in the next 15 or 20 days, right? And let me give you a overcap with respect to what we have seen in our today's discussion. The first is with respect to the India-Africa, right? The first article is about the Indo-Africa, where the several recommendations and all have been provided for deepening the relation between India and Africa. Then we have seen the dark pattern in the online advertisements, right? So this is the second article we have seen. Then thirdly, we have seen about the permanent court of arbitration. India stated that it will be backing the permanent court of arbitration ruling in 2016 with respect to the South China Sea, right? So this is the third article we have seen. And fourth article is about the Iran entry into the SCO. Iran have been joining the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. So this is what we have seen in our fourth discussion. And lastly, it is about the Operation Green. Operation Green is highly important from the perspective of prelims. So these are the articles we have seen today. Now let us move on to the questions part. This is the first question. Consider the following markets: government bond market, call money market, treasury bill market, and stock market. How many of the above are included in the capital market? By seeing the name itself, we can eliminate this. Call money market is a money market segment. And with respect to government bond market, the government bonds and all will be issued between 10 to 20 year timeline. So the bonds and all will be issued by government at a discount price. So this government bond market, it belongs to the capital market. Then we are having treasury bill market. Treasury bill market, it will be having a short term, right? The short term bills and all will be issued by the government, and it will be providing some working capital to the government agencies. These treasury bills are negotiable, which means it can be transferred between the people. Then we are having stock market. Stock market with respect to India, we are having NSE and BSE, and the companies what it was shortlisted in the BSE and NSE, they are sourcing their capital from the public, right? Therefore, it is a capital market. So only two are capital market, and we can opt answer option B as the answer for the question number 1. This is the second question, guys. Souls are not only the property of animal, plant life, but also of rocks, running water, many other natural objects not looked on as living by the other religious sects. So this is the tenet. It was given by the Jainism, because Jainism stated that even the non-living things, they are having souls. Even the immovable things, they are having the souls. So this is what stated by the sect Jainism. So Jainism is the direct hit for the second question. Thirdly, which one of the following countries has been suffering from decade of civil strife and food shortages and was in news in the recent past for its very severe famine? And among these countries, Somalia is the direct hit for the question number 3. Because for the past 25-30 years, it has been in the news, and the country is in a critical position with respect to the civil strife, what it has been facing for the past 20 years, and with respect to the food shortages. Also, the Somalia, it doesn't have any mineral resources in its landscape. This is also adding a huge concern to the government. So answer option D is the right one for the question number 3. Finally, we are arriving at the end of our today's discussion. Let me catch you in another discussion tomorrow. Follow us on all social platforms. Signing off, Vijay. Thank you.